It's been called one of the greatest inventions and innovations in recent times. It makes accessing the internet, studying, gaming to communicating with our family members possible. And that too without being tethered to any wires and cables. Yes? What am I talking about? You've guessed it. I'm talking about Wi-Fi, the magical little beams in our homes and offices that make everything possible. Can you imagine living in 2020 without Wi-Fi connectivity? That's the stuff of tech nightmares, at least from me. I'm sure it's the same for you. You know, in the past few years, our data requirements have shot up through the roof, and we do literally everything on the internet. The number of devices simultaneously accessing Wi-Fi has also increased many-fold. A lot of this usage, it focuses on a few key things like consuming video content on OTT platforms like Netflix and Amazon, online shopping. With the pandemic, we use our video conferencing and work from home now to the greatest of extents. Our dependence on Wi-Fi networks has increased even more as all our activities have moved online and indoors where cellular coverage may not provide the best broadband experience. All of this means that the number of people simultaneously using the same Wi-Fi network has increased, and so is the average amount of time everyone is spending connected to their home network by as much as 2.2 hours per day. That's the new statistic. With so many of us connecting with friends and family using video calling services, it was no surprise that voice over Wi-Fi calling saw a massive rise in users, up to 90% increase during the pandemic. It's when the Wi-Fi isn't working perfectly on your devices when we experience slow internet speeds, those odd disconnects in video meetings, loss of data during an online gaming session, or buffering on a streaming app. But what we sometimes forget is that Wi-Fi isn't only about the router. A lot of it depends on how the Wi-Fi is handled by our device and how they manage it all within. With so many things being used on our phones, the Wi-Fi is the backbone of all this usage. While the routers have evolved, even the phones need to pull a lot of Wi-Fi magic to make all this happen. Now, a great Wi-Fi experience on your phone is mandatory for a hassle-free work from home setup. And one company that is continuously innovating to give you all that is Qualcomm. And it is doing it for both phones and routers. In today's episode, we'll find out what a great Wi-Fi experience truly means and what it takes to provide users with a hassle-free Wi-Fi experience. Wi-Fi is the holy grail. It's time to find out how it works. And before we move on and speak to Rahul Patel, the Senior Vice President and GM for Connectivity in Qualcomm, we decided to go out on the streets and find out what's the kind of real problems people face with Wi-Fi on their phones, as their routers, everything else. What's the Wi-Fi experience like for them?
Not at all.
The speed is not the issue, but the consistency of the Wi-Fi.
Right now it's working perfectly fine.
Yeah, sometimes happy, but sometimes not also.
Sometimes we get a problem regarding breakage of connection. Nowadays the online classes are going for the kids, so sometimes the connection gets broken out, so we have to reconnect it.
I think the Wi-Fi speed can be improved. If it can be improved, I'll be very happy with my Wi-Fi.
Sometimes I face lag, like while I'm on video calls and something.
The speed, obviously, and secondly, just the consistency. You know, Wi-Fi is something that shouldn't die down.
Range.
The continuation of the speed.
A bit of range. Minimum 100 Mbps.
I have like one or two repeater, so I use that when I need it.
We have set up lots of dongles around various places of the house.
We have to get a router, the extension basically.
It should be placed at the center of the house so that it can cover all the areas.
Now let's talk to Rahul Patel, Senior Vice President and GM, Connectivity, Qualcomm Technologies. Welcome, Rahul. Great to have you in this segment. Rahul, you heard about the pain points experienced by consumers. Can you explain to our viewers what constitutes a great home Wi-Fi experience?
Hello, Rajiv. How are you? Hope all is well with you. That's a great question about the experience that the consumers come to expect with Wi-Fi. If I summarize at a very high level, Wi-Fi is, from an expectation point of view, no different than the utilities that people have come to expect in their homes. Today, consumer moves around the home with smartphones, a screen, maybe a fixed screen like a 50-inch screen or even larger. And what the consumer expects is seamless connectivity with Wi-Fi. What is seamless connectivity? It's very qualitative. What it means is jitter-free video experience. You're watching your IPL game, you're watching your Netflix, you are doing phone calls, you are doing video calls. All of those things have to be delivered as if they are coming off a wired connection over Wi-Fi.
Okay, now let's talk about you as a brand, as a company, as people who actually are behind the cutting edge technology. Can you elaborate on what you have found to be the pain points for users in India?
Excellent question, Rajiv. I think there's plenty to worry about when it comes to pain points in the Indian geography with respect to Wi-Fi. We evolved rather very quickly from using Wi-Fi to access emails and data, or maybe pictures, maybe Facebook, social media, to going to a place where we started doing WhatsApp calls, video calls. But then the pandemic struck and the game changed dramatically. It went to a newer high, largely because we started doing many things simultaneously, such as working from home, where the quality of the network expectation is just tremendous. Schooling from home, you want to make sure kids are able to participate effectively in a classroom, and then also entertaining from home. We started to see a lot more content getting sourced from applications like Amazon Prime, Netflix, MX Player, Hotstar, YouTube, many other applications. To add to that, during the pandemic, in 1 week in April, 197 million downloads of gaming applications took place in 1 week. That's just phenomenal. And to add to that, more than 40% increase in gaming took place between the months of March and June, July, right? And so this is the complexity of the home from where we were just using it for data and messaging and emails, to now in a place where we are schooling from home, working from home, entertaining from home. 87% of the homes in one of the surveys in India do not have whole home coverage. When the home is expecting to be entertained from every room in the home, schooled from any room in the home, and sometimes simultaneously. Indian geography is very different than many geographies where we have brick walls. They are less penetrating to the Wi-Fi signals, right? And so that is the pain point in India right now with Wi-Fi. Having said that, don't get disheartened. We have solutions. Wi-Fi has evolved to places where now there's capabilities in the smartphones, in the PCs, and also Wi-Fi infrastructure in the home, like routers and mesh Wi-Fi access points, where they will be able to solve and address some of these problems or pain points rather, that we are seeing in the Indian geography.
All right, that's very interesting. So what do you recommend for users who are experiencing these issues with their Wi-Fi at home?
A lot of these products today now come with 2 streams of Wi-Fi, dual antenna, 2 antennas in the product. And this is very effective in solving the range problems in the home.
Okay, let's move on to the most important device, I think the router itself. Should users consider upgrading their networking devices itself?
Absolutely. A good routing platform solution is the basis for good whole home coverage for Wi-Fi in the home. So look for access point solutions or Wi-Fi in your gateway that your operator provides, where they have at least 4 antennas or 4 streams of Wi-Fi coming from the gateway or the access point that you have in the home. This way, there's enough coverage and capacity for the home. In many parts of the world where problems and pain points, like I described earlier, are being resolved with mesh Wi-Fi solutions, successfully resolved. What mesh Wi-Fi is, you have these nodes that you sprinkle around the homes and effectively light up a full blanket coverage of the entire home. And so every room is well lit up with Wi-Fi coverage, and there is enough capacity, and so the experience goes to a newer level, a newer height, I would say.
Thank you, Rahul, for joining us on the show. I'm sure you're going to join us again, because the kind of stuff that we need to know from you is a whole lot more.